Hi everybody! Michelle from Everyday Wife Life requested that I do a tutorial on EveryDollar. Now, I've seen a couple of tutorials out there, and honestly, I use EveryDollar a little bit differently than the rest of the world probably, because this is how it works for my husband and I. So I'm going to walk you through how I use EveryDollar, which I love, by the way. So let's get started. So as you can see on my screen, I'm going back. It says February. It's actually July. I'm just wishing for cold weather. I actually log in to my computer on my desktop every morning, and that's where I do all of my logging and tracking and everything rather than my phone. I can do a phone tutorial. If that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know down below, and I'm happy to try and accomplish that. That'll really test my skills as a video recorder trying to record on my iPhone, but I'm up for the challenge, so if that's something you would like, let me know. First, we want to look at our income. These are not my numbers because my numbers are far more complicated than this will ever be, but I'm going to give you just a pretend scenario. So for the first one, we have our first paycheck will be Mauricio's pay. Our budget usually has about 10 different income items, and if you guys would like to see our budget specifically, let me know also down below, and I would be happy to do that because I'm all about sharing and hoping that other people can learn from the way I do things. Mauricio's paycheck, let's focus on the task at hand. $2,000, okay? So then we add income and Wendy's paycheck, $2,000. I'm going to add in a 10% charitable giving. So in this particular scenario, our charitable giving will be to a tithe, and that will be $400 because 400 is 10%. Now you'll see over here on the right, you have your total income, and you've now just gotten this little blue section, which if you look matches up with giving. And so it measures out the percentage and the amount. Okay. So then next we have our savings. We're going to assume, for the sake of this segment, we're going to assume that you're in baby step two. So you already have your emergency fund. So we're not saving for anything, but let's say you have our repair sinking fund. So car repair sinking fund, which Mauricio and I will be implementing soon. And we're going to add $100 to that. Okay, so as you're adding things, it actually tells you how much you have left to budget because we're working on a zero-based budget here. So our income is $4,000. We now have our 10% for giving, and then our savings, which would be 3%. Now, if you're on baby step 3 or 4, this section is obviously going to be, or 3, or even baby step 1, this section is going to be significantly larger. We don't have a mortgage. We actually have rent. So we're going to change that to our rent. We actually don't have rent, as I've covered previously, but for the sake of this tutorial, we have rent because we are not buying anything until we can pay for it. So we have garbage and water here in this area combined together. So we're going to combine those two, and then we're going to go down here and we're going to remove the water. Now ours comes here in this house comes quarterly, but we're going to budget it out to be about $25 a month. Okay, we don't have gas, so we're going to go ahead and delete that. But if you do have gas, you might want to see a doctor about that. Our electricity is going to be $150 a month because we like our air conditioning. Okay, we don't have homeowners association fees because we rent, so we don't have to pay for those. So we're deleting that out of there. And I love how they suggest all these things that you need to keep in mind. Because it truly is fantastic. So we have our Verizon cell service. So we're going to say $100, not Q dollars, $100. We don't have cable. We actually have Netflix. Because, I mean, who actually has cable anymore? Maybe you do. But, well, I shouldn't say that because my parents still have cable. So Netflix, $10. So our gas and oil payments are going to be, we'll say $300 a month. And you can do car replacement here. I would actually do that in the savings category if it were me, but we're not saving for a car right now because we are on baby step 2, and my car is going to be our car for a long time. And Mauricio's car is brand new, which we're paying off in our snowball. So now we have covered the basics, and so we still have $19.15 left to budget. And if we go over here, you can see that we're just over halfway. So you can see right now the bulk of our housing expenses is 32%. Some people have real issues getting this stuff to come out the way they want it to. So what we do is we actually budget by store, because we have a couple of stores where we have food and hygiene products. So rather than separate them out, we actually put them here. So we do Amazon, we do Giant grocery store, and we do Walmart. Now, some months I'm going to go to all of these stores and some months I'm not. But part of the budgeting process is knowing what you need and knowing where you're going to get it. So for us, we're going to say I'm going to go to Trader Joe's and I'm going to spend $75 because Trader Joe's is where I like to get my lunch stuff for work. And Amazon, I'm going to spend about $50 on Amazon this month. And so Giant, I'm going to spend about $150, and then at Walmart, I'm going to spend $200. Okay, now we're on baby step 2. We don't go out to restaurants. If we decide to go out to a restaurant, it's at lunchtime at work, and it's not a sit-down meal, or if it is, it's not a very expensive restaurant. There's no alcohol involved or anything like that. So we use our blow money if we're going to go to a restaurant. So I'm going to delete that. And we're moving on to the next one. Now, as you all know, we just put down our second dog. So we have no pet care right now, which makes me very sad. We are all set with clothing for the next couple of months, so we're not going to have any clothing. Now, for us, we will deal with childcare in a different area. For Melina, our daughter, we have a whole subcategory called Melina, and that's where we have her schooling, her school supplies, anything for any sporting activities we need for her. So we're not going to have a school tuition here. So we have several subscriptions involved with iTunes for a total of about $40 a month. We do not have a gym membership because we both are runners. So we delete the gym membership. And I never have a miscellaneous category because miscellaneous makes me upset. So we delete that. And sports and entertainment, this is too vague of a category for me, so I delete that. So then our health insurance comes out of our paychecks, so we don't put anything in there. And we have Wendy's life insurance and Mauricio's, which is, because Mauricio is younger than me, his is half the cost. That and some health issues that I had before I got life insurance. And then our auto insurance would be, for hypothetical purposes, $100. Now we add the debt section. So our first debt is going to be, so we have a Visa. Okay, so what you would do here is when you're doing your budget, it has to be for the month you're in. And so this is going to be your balance, your total balance at that very moment in time, and then you would enter your minimum payment. Okay, and done. So then over here, you would be able to see, okay, my minimum payment this month is $100. I'm going to pay $100, okay? And then we have medical, we have a bill to a hospital, I guess. We don't really, but for purposes of this, we're gonna have a bill to a hospital. and our minimum payment, our current balance is, let's say, 2,250, and our minimum payment is $50. Done. And save. So we're going to put $50 here. And then our last debt is our car loan. And our car loan's a little more expensive. Our minimum payment is $350, and let's say we owe $1,400 on it for the sake of this thing. So our car payment is $350. And my budget group is going to be called overages. Okay? In my budget, it's called We Are Dumbasses, but shh, I have a potty mouth. I think I've said that before, because I really do. But we're going to call it overages here. The way I do this is I put a cushion in here of $100. This helps me never to overdraft my account. This cushion here will keep you ultimately from overdrafting your bank account. If you are truly working on a zero-based budget and have no money in your checking account, this will save you. Because honestly, things are going to come up. Now, when you're first starting out budgeting, this cushion should be way more than $100. It should be like $500, because you are going to make mistakes. If you have never done a budget before, you need to have a good grasp on a budget before you take it all the way down to zero. Now, you want to get it down to a zero-based budget as quickly as physically possible, but understand that you are going to make mistakes and things are going to come up. So this is how I plan for it. I put a cushion in right there. And then as the month goes on and we start spending money and things come up, I actually create new subcategories here. Okay, so now you see we have $625 left to budget. So if we're working on baby step 2, that $625 is going to our debt. So we look at our smallest debt, and we know our smallest debt is going to be our medical. It's going to be $2,250 is the total amount we owe. So we're going to add to that. We're going to take this $625 and add it to the $50. So that makes $675. And you see right here, it says it's an EveryDollar budget, which means that, hey, guess what? We've got a balanced budget. So we have just officially balanced our budget. So I hope you have a absolutely fantastic day and get everything you want out of life. And I hope this tutorial helped. Leave me a note below. If it didn't help, it was confusing, let me know. Because what's easy for me, what I understand may not be what other people understand. So let me know, and I'll talk to you later.